Hi folks, welcome to Follow the Leader, podcast focused on telling character-driven stories through the use of GM-less tabletop games where we can all take the lead. You can find us on Twitter at FTLcast and at FTLcast.com. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/FTLcast. Today we're playing This Town is Full of Monsters by Alex Samoylov. For those of you who are new to this game, here are the basics. This Town is Full of Monsters is a storytelling/role-playing game set in a smallish community beset by mysterious eldritch forces. There's always a town, there are always townsfolk. And somewhere, everywhere, perhaps in their hearts and minds, perhaps in the swamp or the woods, there are monsters, mysteries, and secrets. I'm Mac, or MK. You can find me on the internet wherever you get good content at Citadel of Swords. You can find the writing that I do about wrestling whenever it is that I get around to it at gatecrashers.fan. I use they, them, I guess, today. That's what makes the most sense to me. Gender is bad. Playing with me today, we have Jade.
Hello, I'm Jade. You can find me most places on the internet at jadeoxidrose. I use they, them pronouns. And if you would like some more actual play content and you aren't already listening to it, check out Dumb Kids Playing Hero, an Animorphs-inspired actual play podcast. We've just started our 3rd season. Shit is up all over the place. On the walls, on the ceiling. It's bad, and it's great radio. That is DKPH Pod on Twitter.
Also playing with me today, we've got Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam. You can find me on Twitter at SAKalo, and you can find my website at www.samkalo.art, newly reformed for user experiences work, and I use he, they.
And last but most certainly not least, with us we have August.
Hi, I'm August. You can find me on Twitter at Harpydora. You can find things that I've written at harpydora.itch.io. You can find me doing a whole bunch of other stuff, some of which you can find if you follow Standing Stones at stones_standing on Twitter.
Hell yeah. Our lines, which are things we absolutely do not want to see, are homophobia and transphobia, racism, sexism, anti-Semitism, violence against children and animals, sexual assault, domestic violence or intimate partner violence, unwanted pregnancy, plagues, and pandemics. Our veils, which are things we're fine with addressing but we'll just fade to black on, are steamy situations, graphic descriptions of bodily harm, and terminal illness. We might get a little body horror-y in this game, but I don't think we should go the bodily harm route this time.
Mm-hmm.
But just bear in mind that the nature of the characters that we are playing inevitably will lend itself a little bit to body horror, so just bear that in mind. Also, content warning for drug use and abuse. Mentions of, not necessarily in the content of the game. Now that we've got all that, we can get started.
Woo!
Woo! Yeah. So if you listen to anything that we've ever done before, you'll know that we love this game.
I've never gotten to play it.
This is Sam's first time playing. I'm so excited.
This is my first time playing. I'm very excited as well, because I know that you love this game, and I'm ready to experience it.
I am going to share, as I always do when we play a game of This Town is Full of Monsters, I am going to share Alex's true wisdom, which is some of my favorite game wisdom that has ever been written. 1. Answers are optional. 2. Drama is like a stormy ocean. 3. Life is a poem. 4. Absolute realism is boring. 5. Nothing is real. And 6. Games are games. These principles will lead you towards success and enjoyment. These principles, when taken full to heart, will guide you on your mysterious journey. These principles are the scaffold upon which hangs a multitude of worlds.
I want to put that on a poster. That rules.
Yeah, I feel like I've really internalized this in a way that, like, has shaped the way that I write in the last few years, and it rocks so hard.
I understand why you love this game.
Yeah, I don't want to talk everybody's ears off. So should we just, like, go down the list with stuff about the world and the town that we have created first, and then we can get into characters?
Yeah, sounds good. So, as you can probably guess from the name of the game, a big part of playing This Town is Full of Monsters is creating the town. For once in our fucking lives, we actually named the town before we got done generating it. So we're going to be...
I have no idea how we did this.
I made an effort. I was like, no, we're not going to do this again.
It's because the book called us out.
Yeah, the book has called us out multiple times. So the town that we're going to be playing in is a little space portal town known as Concertus. It has a couple of locales that we have sussed out where major things happen. We have the fairgrounds, we have the space portal itself, sort of think like a Stargate sort of area. We have Metis and Nemesine, which is a shop belonging to one of the characters, whomst we shall introduce in a few. We have the Monkey's Uncle, which is the local dive bar, the outskirts of town, and an area called the Gutted Plains outside the town, which are very fun, and we'll get into those probably in play.
What I added? There it is. Yeah, it is. It's under the Monkey's Uncle. I thought I added the Portal Authority Terminal, because if this is a town with a lot of people coming and going, and I thought I would do a nod to the Port Authority bus terminal. So
I love that you did that.
That's amazing. I love it.
That's fantastic.
So in This Town is Full of Monsters, I'm hopping up a little bit back to domains real quick.
Mm-hmm.
In This Town is Full of Monsters, the world as it exists can be loosely, roughly, arbitrarily divided into 4 domains. The wilds, the deep, the fringe, and the heart. The heart being sort of the center of where all of the action of the quote-unquote ordinary people happens. The wilds being the sort of mysterious and more natural. The deep being... I can understand the distinction between the deep and the wilds, like, in my heart of hearts, but, like, actually explaining it, I have to go back to where the wilds, an untamed and in some cases uncharted space where nature still holds sway, versus the deep, which is a place beyond where ordinary folks rarely tread, but it's usually just more hidden. It's like a mirror side, which is, like, more supernatural than natural. And then the fringe, which is kind of the blurry boundary between the heart and the wilds and the deep. So all of our locales kind of fall into or straddle, at the very least, one or more of these domains.
Hell yeah.
And now I'm really gonna stop talking. I just love this game.
It's so good.
You don't have to stop talking. It's a podcast. That's what we're here to do.
So another aspect of kind of like playing in the town is establishing a couple of organizations that we might bump into in the town. One of the organizations that we've established is Circolage, which is currently occupying the fairgrounds. It is a traveling circus of some repute. And the Circolage is run by people who identify themselves as cogs. They're the general workers for the circus. We also have the United Portal Workers Chapter 349, which is the union for the workers who keep the portal and the surrounding port running. And
I realized that perhaps astute listeners will realize that this is a part of our 6 arcs in a movie.
If you're paying attention to the arc numbers, then yes. We haven't said anything else about it yet, thankfully.
Yeah, astute listeners will know this. So I was trying to think of how to fit the folks from where Sabriel's from, Sabriel's little gang, into as an organization, but
They could have a chapter here, or like a splinter group.
yeah, like a splinter group of like refugees almost.
That's good.
that's really good.
They can probably be under the protection of our union.
Yeah, but I don't have a name for them or anything. Just gonna call them revolutionaries.
Great.
Sounds good.
Do we want to have any kind of... I hesitate to use the term police force, but is there any kind of peacekeeping, or is it very sort of like community policing? Like, what vibe do we want to have for this town? Like, is there an authority outside of the Port Authority? Or is it very sort of like a little Wild Westy? Is there like just a sheriff, maybe, to give it sort of a little bit of that Wild West flavor, but like, we all did Wild West in space.
Space sheriff.
But like, so there could be like an individual with a couple of deputies, and it's less about we are here to enforce the law and more like we are here to liaise with other folks in the interest of the people who live here.
I think that we can have some fun tension if there's some sort of like law enforcement presence in the area. But especially since we're all escaped convicts.
Shh. We don't tell people that.
Of course
But-
not.
Okay, this is going to sound really daft, possibly.
No
Here
such
in
thing.
the UK. Yeah, but thank you. I don't know if it's true. It might vary, obviously, from state to state, as most things do. But here in the UK, we literally have the British Transport Police.
Mhm.
They are not the main police. They are
Transit police are
specifically
their
the
own thing.
But what about that? This is a portal town.
Yeah.
So they're not
I think that'd
like
be cool.
full on like, they're not like the people that run prisons. They are not necessarily arbiters of law, but it's like people who try to sneak places without paying and cause shit for the union workers. Like, if this whole town grew up around the portal, it makes sense that this town would be under the jurisdiction of them.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot. And that, that may be one of the things where it's like they're not going to sit there running license plates specifically, but if you cause trouble, then they might run your ID and see if you've got a warrant out for your arrest, kind of thing.
Yeah, I also like the idea that maybe they have scientists as part of their remit because they have to look after the portal as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I've put Empyrean Transit Police under organizations. Do we want them to be associated? Do we want this town to be associated with like, because like we do have sort of a greater, quote unquote, greater plot that we have been leading towards. Yeah.
The forces of order.
Yeah.
So,
Good shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to just throw out an organization name as well, just to add so we have one. I'm giving credit to my friend Lizzie from a game of the Sprawl we did, but there was literally a group called Terminus, who referred to themselves as the end of the line, who were not a fun bunch of people, but were a criminal organization, a lot of assassins. But I like the notion of they're just like at Concertus, there is Terminus, like this group that seek to end things. They could be a religious organization. Like not quite an apocalypse cult, but like that kind of vibe, like where like all things end.
Interesting. I like that.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I already have thoughts, thanks.
You're welcome.
Sounds good.
That's actually more organizations than I think when the last time we played This Town is Full of Monsters. So I think we're doing okay.
We're doing fine.
We are working hard.
Yeah. One of the other things that we do when we're creating the town is we generate motifs, which are things that we want to see come up in play, maybe some overarching themes as we play out scenes, that kind of thing. And the motifs that we have at the moment, and you can always add or remove motifs during play, but to start out with, we've got quite a few. Carnival music in the distance that's always slightly off-key, bitter reunions, shadows too dark for the light that cast them, the changing of stars, the lies we tell, the truths we keep silent, the marks we leave on others, and pulled threads. If there are any others that we'd like to add before we start play, speak now or hold your peace until we're playing.
What about, given the existence of two of these characters these days, something involved like, I'm thinking of like a shattered mirror, like things broken or just like multifaceted, like, or aspects of a thing. I'm doing a really poor job of verbalizing this, but just the notion of something both whole and also broken.
Mm-hmm.
The light reflecting off of internal fractures, perhaps.
Ooh, I mean, fractures.
Yeah,
is
fractures is good. Shattered Mirror really resonates with me as well, which I might actually drop as a tag.
Oh,
Nice.
That's good.
Hell yeah.
And the final part of Town Generation is to create a few mysteries, which are questions that we might try to pursue during the course of play. One of the things about the mysteries that it explicitly states in the book, players should feel absolutely no obligation to conclusively solve any of the mysteries that they establish. This Town is Full of Monsters is inspired by a very particular genre, and said genre, despite what some fans might desire, tends to focus on questions. Answers are optional. So some of the questions that we're choosing to pursue, we can use them as plot hooks. We don't have to pursue them. If other things come up in play, we can add to this list. One of the mysteries is who is running this horror show. Another is children are being born with strange abilities. What is the source? Is the portal sentient? And what is Vi?
Ha ha! What a great mystery that will never be solved.
It's
Love
a
it.
great mystery that leads us into the final part of setup for This Town is Full of Monsters, which is creating characters. So as Sam mentioned, we are in our last of our 6 arcs before we get into the movie. So you probably already guessed who we're playing, but This Town is Full of Monsters has some really great character generation questions. So let's go ahead and get into our characters, starting with the mysterious Vi Dumarche.
That's me! Hi, I am playing, today I will be playing Vi Dumarche. They use no pronouns. You'll notice that I said they here. That's because I am playing 2 versions of Vi Dumarche today. Because if you will remember a few arcs back, Vi got, shattered? Sure, we'll call it that. Fragments of Vi exist across time now. So I am playing 2 versions of Vi. Neither version of Vi uses pronouns, but I may, if I'm speaking collectively about the Vi's, I will probably use they pronouns. It's they plural. Vi's profession, is free, as in freedom, for the shadow version of Vi, and whatever the opposite of a soothsayer is for the living version of Vi. Yes, I will get more into that. I don't feel like that needs to necessarily be like a big story reveal that like there's 2 versions of Vi in this game. Hobbies, Vi's hobbies are none. It's no hobbies. Vi's skill set is being extremely creepy, keeping secrets, and forging promises. With a side note, the living version is somewhat softer, but has the same skill set. This is probably the only game where we are going to get the closest to ever seeing Vi, how Vi looked in life. But even so, appearance-wise, Vi is not something that you are able to really look at directly and get an actual sense of what Vi looks like. That's just, it just doesn't work out for anyone involved. All characters in these games have, tags associated with them. This is my favorite part of character creation, even though it was the hardest part in this case. So Vi's tags are fragmented, shattered mirrors, and balanced on the edge of a coin, but barely. And I think we can get into relationships after we've run through all the characters.
Yeah, I agree. So that brings us to our next character, who is played by Jade.
What's up? I am once again playing Nezami Kazel. Uses any pronouns. Faye Fair should be on the list of pronouns occasionally used. Profession is information broker / bookseller, because there are some things that can't be trusted to the digital. There is security in the physical. Hobbies are playing piano and bookbinding. Skill set is finding information, knowing the law and how best to work with and around it, and knives. General appearance: long dark hair threaded with silver, with a side shave and a scalp tattoo of a flowering vine. Dark eyes, the right of which has the pupil, iris, and sclera all the same inky black. Graceful hands and a well-practiced smile. A little on the short side when they're, rare occasion, they're barefoot. With the build of a dancer, likes to dress well. I only have the 2 tags right now. Badass bookworm and silk spinner. And I'll expand on that later. Maybe. And we're going to get on the relationships later. So that's fair.
Nice.
I'm playing Sabriel Cohen. His profession is activist, leader, and scholar. Hobbies are chess, which they are very good at, but I am not, because I don't know anything about chess. Additional hobbies are tinkering and space drugs. Skill set is charisma, leadership, and the occult. General appearance, messy, deep dark circles under their eyes with bushy, unkempt hair. Very long, sort of flowing clothing. Definitely likes to be sort of covered in as much fabric as possible, and a little grimy. Lives in not the greatest part of town. Sabriel's tags are justice must be done. Idle hands are the devil's playthings. Those are his 2 tags. We'll get into the relationships afterwards.
And as you have probably guessed, I'll be playing Galador Inderwall. Blade's pronouns are Blade self pronouns. Blade's profession is weapon. Galador's hobbies are chess, but Blade's not the best at it. Whittling, because it's something to do with Blade's hands and a knife that isn't killing, but again, Blade's not the best at it. And Blade also likes mending things with a needle and thread, but Blade is very bad at it. Blade's skill set is killing, stealth, and intimidation. General appearance is average height but broad, kind of late 40s, olive brown complexion, and dark hair that's just barely long enough to be pulled back into a short ponytail. Scarred, wearing an eye patch. I'd never figured out which eye I wanted Galador to have an eye patch on. I think it would be fun if it's the same eye as Nezumi's black eye.
Mm-hmm.
And think kind of like Oded Fair in The Mummy, but a bit older. Blade's tags are, I am your sword, still waters run deep, and it's not paranoia if they're trying to kill you. So now that we know who all we are, one of the other things that we do when establishing characters is to establish relationships. Now, generally, it's one relationship per character, but in this case, because of who we are playing and who we are as people, we decided to have relationships for everyone in the quote-unquote team. So
it's my fault. We can all blame me.
Yeah, we blame
and
Mac.
Thank you.
You'll see why in a second.
We can thank you.
Usually when this happens, it's not my fault, and then I go, oh man, I have to come up with relationships for everyone, and I was like, wait a second, I did it this time. I was the one who made all the relationships.
Are you the drama?
I am. It is me. Okay. So, Vi's relationship with Nezumi, I'm starting with the longest one, of course. Short answer, Vi would consider sparing Nezumi when Vi's revenge gives Vi all the power Vi is seeking to raise and rework the world. Long answer, the thing is that neither Nezumi, Cordelia, or Vi know that Nezumi and Vi both love Cordelia, and Vi and Nezumi inevitably grew closer in the brief time a shard of Vi was bound to Nezumi's shadow, but it wasn't really enough to bridge the gap left by that whole thing that happened. And then Vi's relationships with Galador and Sabriel are the same, with one minor tweak, which is they are but a means to an end. Competent ones, and I suppose I owe Galador for my freedom, but they are still means to an end. And then this is the reason why everyone was like, oh, we can just do relationships with everybody, is I have a bonus relationship with Cordelia, who is not here, but she is here. I would rather know she is alive and does not remember me than any other alternative, but I do not think I can bear to face her with no recognition in her eyes.
Aww.
Good shit.
I'll say on mic what I said when I read that, which is, hey, Mac, fuck you.
Yeah, it came to mind, and I went, alright, I have to at least write it down.
That's good. It's good shit.
Yeah.
Alright. And Nezumi's relationships.
So, relationship with Sabriel. Skilled in his way, but a wild card. Not quite more trouble than he's worth, but they're on thin ice.
Fair.
With Galador, largely trustworthy and genuinely competent, a proven ally with enough knowledge about me to be dangerous. Do not make Blade an enemy. Relationship with Vi. I got two, because there are two aspects of Vi here. The Shadow version is a confidant and advisor. Vi is invaluable. And the living version, same suit, different face cards. Oh, and hey, bonus relationship with Cordelia. She brings out both the best and worst in me, and everything is more complicated when she's in my life. And then crossed out is I miss her so fucking much.
Yeah, it hurts me.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So, my relationship with Galador is Blade makes me feel safe, which I've rarely experienced. All other feelings aside, Blade is worth Blade's weight in gold for that alone.
Yikes! Ow!
Sabriel's in love.
I read it and it didn't, I read it and it didn't comprehend.
Yeah. Bonus relationship with Cordelia is, kind of a bitch, TVH, but very handy with a weapon and relentlessly dogged in her goals, which I can respect. My relationship with Nezumi is very confident, a useful connection to have if a little judgmental, and my relationship with Vi is who? Because I don't think Sabriel has ever interacted with Vi over the course of
Nope.
these games.
Nope, they didn't. Nope, they never interacted in the entirety of that first session. Not once.
Never interacted. So
It is the funniest thing.
this is so fucking funny. So my relationship with Vi is just, huh?
Yep. Good stuff. I love it. So Galador's relationship with Vi is uneasy allies at the best of times, nearly unwilling allies at the worst. With Nezumi, I owed Fair a debt, but now I hope we're even. Still, they could be a good ally to have in a pinch. And the relationship with Sabriel is, and I'm specifically targeting Sam with this, I would die for him, but I suspect he would rather I live for him.
I've got the biggest grin on my face right now. Hell yeah.
And the bonus relationship with Cordelia is she got us out of a bad situation for which I will be grateful, but that does not mean I consider her a friend. So.
Hell yeah.
All right. So, really quick, is this a different town, or have y'all moved on since the Norlandia game, or is this like the Norlandia town, but
In space.
in a different universe?
No, I think it's a different I think it's a different place.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
And not just because I said Nezumi had
Yeah.
to leave town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Neutral ground for Galador and Nezumi to meet up as well.
I think that, yeah, because Sabriel was pretty intent on not leaving town at the end of it. I think that the only reason Sabriel would was if they heard that Galador was somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is this is a portal town.
Mm-hmm.
Sabriel could literally just be arriving.
Hell yeah. That was the intention, yeah.
Awesome. So the next thing that we do is we begin play. Now that we have all of our pieces in place, we can start playing with them. The main flow of play is you play out scenes, and depending on how the scenes go and whether you address certain motifs or mysteries, you, at the end of the scene, generate what's called markers, which are things that allow you to establish something that's true about a person, place, or thing in the form of turning them into tags. And we play through scenes as we try to unravel the threads of our mysteries or establish new mysteries and get deeply embroiled in this mysterious little town.
So do we want to start with this visual of like following after, like, I'm just going to, again, peek behind the curtain, the message that August just dropped, but did we want to maybe start with Sabriel's arrival?
Yes, I was just thinking that.
I think that'll make for a cool visual that you can paint as well. I mean, look at the scene types, because the scene types in This Town is Full of Monsters are dope as hell.
They're so great.
Right.
They're bouncing off points. They're not prescriptive by any means. So if Jesus Christmas. So like if Sam, it's inspiration points. You don't have to use one of them. Did we ever send you the game, Sam?
Yeah. August did yesterday.
Okay, good.
So I'm still like squinting at it.
I'll rattle through the scene types while Sam gets ready to paint a word picture
Hell yeah.
that will awe and inspire.
Oh god.
We get
Okay.
slice of life / character development, confrontations, introductions, cloak and dagger, dream sequences, emergence, investigation, flashback, flash forward, revelation, cryptic revelation, major incident, and possibly the best named thing in any tabletop game ever written, Smooch Country. It deserves to go last, so I can give it the weight and respect it deserves.
Fully agree.
I cannot believe also that we played how many games of This Town is Full of Monsters.
We've
and it
never
took us,
gone
like,
to Smooch
4...
Country.
We did do Smooch Country. It took us 4 games.
That's so funny.
And it happened with the right characters. But yes, for all of our appreciation of Smooch Country, it took us a real long time to get there. Turns out the commute's a bit of a beast.
Yes.
All right,
Worth
I'm
the
ready.
trip, though.
I'm ready to paint a word picture. Let's go. Okay. Our scene opens on the watery surface of the portal as a face breaks through, and out onto the platform steps a hunched figure covered in thick robes, wearing probably more than one of the pieces of clothing that he owns in order to carry it more efficiently. 3 bags slung across his chest in various directions. As he pushes his hood back, his hair is freed and it springs forth, and Sabriel looks around, hoping beyond hope to see who he's looking for, but obviously not. He's got an idea. He pulls out a piece of paper from his jacket. He reads it again. All it says is an address. The address of this particular port. And as the portal fizzles to a close behind him into its sleep state, where it is kept alive but much smaller, the light dims in the room, and he walks out. I like the idea of the portals being, like, big when they're needed, and then when they're not needed, they're kept alive and open, but, like, the size of a fist.
It's good.
It's real good.
So that's how you can send letters and stuff through it. It's for mail.
There's also, like, the notion there that either they can't shut the portal down completely, or they're scared to because they don't know if they'll be able to open it again.
Yeah!
Mm-hmm.
All of which are interesting possibilities.
Mm-hmm. Because the portal is a natural thing. It was here first, and we built the infrastructure around it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So it makes sense we can't close it all the way. Just contain it. And use it for the postal service.
Do we want to give the portal a tag, then? Or a marker?
We should give the portal a tag.
Sure. Say, based on that bit of conversationing we just had.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it gets how many markers? Is it 3 markers to get it, and then you can transmute them into a tag?
No, I think it's just 1. It's 1-to-1.
Yeah, it's 1-to-1.
Yeah, it's 1-to-1. You can transmute a marker into a tag at any time.
Yeah, we never put down the original tag, but based on the conversation we had, I'm putting the original tag for the portal as living.
That's very sexy. Love that.
Yeah, I was thinking something beating heart.
Ooh. Sorry, just watching the words something beating heart be typed into the doc is very funny.
Yeah, something beating heart. Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
It's good.
All right, do we want to continue in the turn order or go to the top of the turn order now that we have been introduced to our town?
Continue in the turn order.
Of course.
Okay. Yeah, come on, August. We don't have to draw this out. We can literally throw these 2 characters together, like, pretty fast. Just saying.
That's why you were asking, I see.
Me saying continue in the turn order was twofold. 1, obviously I want to throw these 2 characters together immediately. 2, me follow that? How?
Well, here's the thing. I think it would be funny if this is also Galador arriving from a different angle and hasn't had the chance to drop Vi off yet.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Fucking incredible.
Yeah, let's go.
Incredible.
So the camera moves from the Portal Authority building where Sabriel has just emerged.
Sabriel is going through customs when Galador shows up.
Well, Galador's coming in from a different angle. I think Galador's coming in actually from outside of the town. And what we see outside of the town is not quite a forest, because the life here is almost unrecognizable as life. It's twisted. There are things that should not be branching this way. Detritus that has sprouted strange budding things that aren't quite fungus. And there's a single shuttle that's zooming through this area that hits the outskirts of town where the wildness gives way to rundown buildings, some of which are abandoned, some of which are relegated to the more marginalized people who live in this town. And the shuttle eventually makes its way to the heart of the city surrounding the portal and lets several passengers off at the entrance of the Portal Authority. One of those passengers steps off the shuttle, and we see at Blade's feet a shadow that is darker than you would think given the time of day and the position of the lighting.
August, how did you know that was exactly what I was going to say? Like, basically word for word.
Nice.
Because we have a connection. Our characters are connected, and so are we.
Holy shit. I was literally gonna be like, can I add a detail here? Jesus! Alright! Take my job from me. Alright, let's go.
Yeah. And Galador shifts a bag that Blade has over Blade's shoulder and steps into the Portal Authority, Blade's eye scanning through the crowds, because Sabriel's portal is not the only portal, and Sabriel was not the only person to come through, but thankfully for Blade, they're fairly recognizable, and Blade raises one hand and waves it in just an efficient motion to get Sabriel's attention as he makes his way out of customs.
So, Sabriel stops, blinks, and then he breaks out into a run, and basically throws himself at Galador. Imagine, like, a 6'6", extremely lanky person, fully koala wrapping themselves around, how tall did we say Galador was? Not very, right?
Average height, so maybe 5'9", 5'10", somewhere around there.
Okay. It's still real weird looking.
Yeah.
I'm imagining that it's not gonna knock Blade over, because Blade's a little bit too solid for that. And Sabriel doesn't weigh enough to knock Blade over. But it's definitely like, you know, it's sweet, but also a little goofy looking.
Yeah. And I think... No, go ahead.
I was about to say, and Sabriel definitely isn't crying about it. Don't look at his fucking face. Don't look at me.
Galador, like, definitely raises Blade's arms and, like, holds on to Sabriel, and eventually is just like, I'm very glad to see you.
Yeah, same. Very muffled. I'm definitely not crying. Don't look at me. Face just like, you know what? Fuck it. Sabriel's just gonna be like, Sabriel's legs are still, like, wrapped firmly around Galador's hips. Like, I'm saying koala, like, fucking, like, hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
They take their hands away from, you know, being wrapped firmly around Galador's shoulders. Both cheeks. Hands on them. Mwah! But, like, maybe a little bit less obnoxious about it.
Yeah. Galador definitely kisses back, but it's a little more reserved, and I suspect strongly that Mac is going to perform an interjection here.
Oh yeah, Vi is 100%. Not Sabriel can't hear Vi, but Galador hears Vi go, "Ugh, save me," and like the shadow on the floor becomes the right shade because Vi has decided to go into the shadow between the bag and Galador's back so that Vi doesn't have to see this.
Fuck, I just blew my mic out so bad. Anyways, yes, I love Vi very much. Sabriel has no idea this is happening. Sabriel's busy smooching his partner.
Yeah. And like I said, Sabriel can't hear Vi anyway.
That's so funny.
It's just Galador.
Sabriel feels Galador tense a little in response to Vi's statement, but Blade does not, like, try to disentangle or anything like that. And finally, Blade says, pulls back a little to, like, look at Sabriel's face.
Oh no.
Like, really look.
Oh no.
And Blade says, "You look like shit. What happened?"
Tell you about it later? Because a lot happened. It's a long story.
I have a duty to fulfill here. If you want to come with me, you can tell me along the way.
Yeah, I'll take that.
And I think that's scene.
I'm so glad they're together again. I'm so glad they're together again.
Me too. So, at the end of each scene, we're supposed to give a marker. I think that marker should probably go to Sabriel.
Oh yeah.
At this point, because I feel like that scene has the most potential to have changed something in Sabriel. So,
hell yeah.
I don't think we hit any of the motifs. We have,
we definitely hit the shadows too dark for light that cast them, but that's just because that's
just, true.
That's just Vi existing.
Yeah, that's true, but in that case, Vi gets a marker too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I kind of feel like we're potentially just going in chronological order, close chronological order for now, but
For now.
Yeah.
Because I think it has to be the handoff next.
Yeah.
And then we can kind of bounce a little bit.
Yeah. After the handoff, then we've got other things that we can occupy ourselves with, but this is most pressing. So, let's fucking go.
Okay. It's gotta be at Nezumi's shop, right? Nezumi's established here, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's gotta be... I can't fucking do shit because I'm a shadow. So Galador has to be the one to go wherever.
Yeah.
And I'm here too.
Here's the thing, I actually wanted to clarify. You said about Galador is there to make the transfer. Was Blade expecting to go to Santalese? Is that why Blade's at the portal? Or how do we want to spin it?
What I was originally thinking is that, like, Galador and Nezumi maybe had, like, a dead drop or something. Some way to communicate that was fairly on the down low. And Nezumi gave Galador instructions to be here.
Okay.
If that works for you. If that's not interesting for you, I'm open to...
No, that works for me. It don't have to be nothing fancy. I was just wanting to make sure I was on the same page. Well, why not go to a bar of some medium level of repute where nobody asks questions?
Yeah. So this finds us in the ever-present monkey's uncle, huh?
Where there's a port or a means of egress for long-distance travel, there's a monkey's uncle. It's an FTL bylaw.
It's true.
I imagine that, because of how I always picture dive bars, it's low lit enough that Vi can probably move around. Isn't obliged to, like, stay stuck attached to any one person.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only place that's decently well lit is probably the stage, and I bet that there's, because I've been playing a little bit of Hard Space Shipbreaker, I'm imagining that there's somebody on the stage with an acoustic guitar just kind of, like, plucking away.
Anyways, here's Space Wonderwall.
Well, no, more like
Blues?
like an ancient, like, Union country song.
Oh, fuck yeah, that's way cooler.
Oh, so it's Kerry. Gotcha.
Oh, shit, yes. We love you, Richard. So, just somebody plucking away on an acoustic guitar in the background, but that's really the only place that's decently well lit.
Small detail in a corner is the other Vi.
Yes, good.
I don't necessarily think... I mean, y'all can see Vi if you want, but I'm not going to play that one. Vi's just there.
I have a question. Would there be any spark of recognition, since Galador has spent potentially a fairly long time with Vi attached to Blade?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Probably a stronger one for Nezumi, but Galador would... There would be a note. There would be okay.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, so cool. Not gonna pursue that, just gonna file that away for later, but, So, yeah, Galador's scanning for recognizable someone, and kind of has... I don't know if it's more in character for Blade to, have one of Sabriel's hands in Blade's, or if Blade has, just a little bit of Sabriel's sleeve in one hand to, lead him along.
I imagine Sabriel is just, chattering about, what's been going down, recapping the previous game.
Nice.
I will say, Nezumi is not there yet, but as the group sort of comes in and looks around, somebody leaves the bar, and Nezumi's going to get there in a little bit.
Yeah, so we claim a table kind of off to one side, maybe a booth where the bulb on the light above the booth is burnt out, so that way, Vi's more comfortable.
Vi is grumbling God, I wish I had a body right now. Not exactly that, but that's the bare bones of this statement.
Yeah, and Galador's just almost if Vi didn't know better, Vi would almost think that Galador is teasing when Blade whispers, "What, is my body not up to your standards?"
What was that?
Vi is just oh, no, I just mean I want a drink. And unfortunately, you drinking does nothing for me.
Galador just kind of nods, and then to Sabriel, Blade says, just talking to... Well, I don't know that Galador has explained Vi during the time that they were going to the monkey's uncle.
No, it's funnier if the answer is no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I assume
so-
Sabriel was too busy explaining the last arc.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
Galador ever tell Sabriel about Vi? Because if this is the first introduction, then that's absolutely hysterical.
I don't know. I don't know if Vi ever came up, even during the game that, the downtime between episodes in the game that Galador and Sabriel shared. So, yeah.
Perfection.
That's
Perfection.
so good. That's so good.
The only thing that Galador explained was before Blade left, Blade was I have to fulfill a debt, and I will return, kind of thing. So when Galador says that, Blade's just it's a long story as well, but I will explain. In the meantime, just know that we are not alone.
Sabriel just kind of looks around and is are we bugged?
Galador snorts.
No, not bugged, just watched. That was out of character. That's
Yeah.
me saying. That's me saying the living Vi notices y'all.
Yeah, Galador just snorts and says, "It's a long story, but I will explain."
You'll have to tell me about it later.
And is that when Nezumi walks in?
Yeah. Because, yes. Nezumi looks a little sharper through her features, and there is a few silver hairs that weren't there certainly not the last time Galador saw him. maybe not even the last time Sabriel did. So, though I wouldn't trust Sabriel to notice anyway. So, he's got things that he would consider more important to pay attention to.
Yep.
It's fine. But yeah, a lot of sort of just because I made the hero for like there's this like sweep of dark makeup across the top part of Nezumi's face. It marginally disguises the all black eye, and their hair is loose down that side of their face. But Galador is a pretty distinct looking person, and also they know where to look. So come over and you hear sort of like, you don't quite hear the click of boots because the music is of a decent volume to cover it. But Nezumi slides into the booth and just looks at Sabriel in mild disbelief.
I'm like, oh. Just gives a silent wave. Hello, Nezumi.
Sabriel. Of course.
And, how have you been?
Fine. Acceptable. I didn't ask. You're here, so I assume you're fine.
Well, fair enough.
Do you still have that? And this is them deliberately being a shit.
Oh no. Oh no.
And just does this gesture around the top of Sabriel's head. That little issue.
Yes, that's, yes, yeah, unfortunately.
I told you I'd look into that if you wanted.
And have you?
Vi is laughing softly in Galador's ear.
Galador arches an eyebrow and looks between Nezumi and Sabriel, but doesn't say anything.
And have you looked into it?
You didn't ask.
So you're going to.
No, I said I would if you asked.
Well, I would appreciate it if you found anything. You would let me know.
Alright, I will. I just looked at Galador. I assume everything went well?
I'm trying to decide what word Galador would use for Vi here.
Mm-hmm.
Vi is already. Okay, I'll save you here, August. Vi is already left. Slips along the shadows, up Nezumi's shoulder, and says, "Peachy, my magician."
The queen has been delivered.
I think just something in Nezumi's posture just shifts a little bit, like in a similar way to Galador. Nezumi is hyper aware of their surroundings pretty much all the time, like healthy sense of self-preservation. But there's definitely like this shift in their posture that indicates that maybe they've relaxed just a little bit. A smidgen.
And I think Galador says, "What do I owe you for looking into this?" And blade gestures to Sabriel's head in a similar fashion to Nezumi, but is keeping like a complete stone face while doing it. But I think Vi understands that Galador is confused and also a little worried, just because Vi's been with Blade for a while.
Yeah,
And they've been so close.
Literally, Vi is like, I can read Blade's micro expressions now. That's not good.
Nezumi sort of like, there is a faint flicker of a smirk of amusement, and Nezumi says, "You don't owe me anything, nor will you. If it comes to a point where I need something, we can discuss the terms, but Looking into things is what I do.
Galador nods, looks between Nezumi and Sabriel again, and says to Sabriel, I was running an extraction mission at Mix Kuzel's request. I extracted... And this pause is in character, because Galador doesn't quite know how to characterize Vi. And Blade finally settles on, I extracted an incorporeal entity.
Close enough.
Can Sabriel see Vi because of Sabriel's weird shit? We haven't explained Sabriel's weird shit. Oh my god.
No, you haven't. I don't know shit.
This is where Nezumi says, oh, well, Sabriel understands a little bit more about incorporeal entities themselves these days, don't you?
Unfortunately. A great pain in my head. And in my ass.
Sabriel probably doesn't want to try and look at Vi then.
Out of character, just for out of character information, part of Sabriel's consciousness now exists outside of them. Like in the astral plane, or the digital space, or the mesh, however we want to characterize it.
Oh my god, Sabriel.
Sabriel did a lot of drugs that make you astral project, and then because he already had some weird shit, it didn't all go back in like it was supposed to.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sabriel can probably involuntarily see Vi.
Or at least have, like, that awareness, like, this patch of shadow that is a different density or color or however you want to flavor it.
Oh, so what you get then is Nezumi, Vi hisses, can you please make him stop looking at me?
Yeah, Sabriel's definitely, like, squinting at Nezumi's shoulder, like... He's trying
I will literally snap my fingers in front of your face. Sabriel, don't look.
And why shouldn't I?
Because it's rude.
He's gonna raise an eyebrow, but, and roll his eyes.
I also have no idea what will happen to your sanity if you try.
This I can respect. He's still gonna be trying to, like, catch a glance out of the corner of his eye, but he's no longer being quite so obvious about it.
Also, like, ostensibly, Vi is not at Nezumi's shoulder. That's just where Nezumi can hear Vi. Because Vi is in the shadows. It's easier to be in a specific place when there's more shadows, but Vi also is more comfortable being closer to Nezumi than Vi was to Galador. So, like, Nezumi can hear Vi's voice closer to Fair than Galador could.
Got it.
But it's not like a physical location.
Yeah, I feel like it's more like Nezumi has that slight turning towards the sound. Or it's like, it's not quite a tick, but it's almost like, again, a micro expression, the same way that, like, people lean into their phones and stuff like that when someone's talking to them. Like, it isn't like Nezumi's actually hearing Vi with their ears, but humans are weird. And this is how we do things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how have I never heard about this person before?
That's a very good question. Considering our meeting.
Sabriel's eyebrows somehow go even higher. Has this entity been with us? Been hanging around since the prison?
I should leave you two to catch up.
In fairness, Vi doesn't say that. Vi is just like, to his credit, I did spend the majority of my time in prison with Cordelia. You can't hear that!
What if I could, though?
No.
But what if you could, though?
What if I could, though?
Oh, you weren't supposed to!
What if it's like when you're in water, like, and somebody's talking to you from above the water, and maybe he can hear something but can't hear the words.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Vi would probably be deeply unhappy with this, but like, you know what? So is Sabriel.
Neither of them like this situation.
Neither of them is enjoying this.
No, if Sabriel acknowledges anything that Vi just said, Vi is like, I need to leave.
Yeah. Nesme will get up from the table. What if that's the moment where they notice living Cordelia?
Or living Vi.
Living Vi, my apologies.
Yes.
Look, I am who I am, and Nesme who Nesme is.
Nesme and Vi both thinking about Cordelia just manifests her in the monkey's uncle.
Now I'm just thinking about fucking Cordelia and Soul meeting, and that's just a blast. Two leather jacket wearing lesbians causing shit.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
How does that Vi react?
You still you still can't get a good read on like you can't clock anything about Vi. Well, Nesme gets pretty close. Nesme gets the eyebrow raise of interest. The I see what's happening here. Because this is a fragment of Vi that split off from the rest, and the living Vi has sense memory of the party, but not actual memory. So Vi goes, oh, I know you, and I recognize myself hovering over your shoulder, or in your shadow, rather, for, spatial sake, so we don't have a repeat of the last incident. And is let's see how this pans out,
And I think Nesme goes to sleep, but before doing so, will slip a card onto the bar, for the shot.
Mm-hmm.
And just says, a drink for the patron in the corner. Take that with it. And walks out.
The poor bartender looks over to the corner and is going to have nightmares for 2 weeks.
Oh no. Oh, great. This is beautiful. I love this game.
Great game.
Great players.
Is that scene?
I think that scene.
It's August, and I just wanted to thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed us, please consider leaving a rating on your podcast platform of choice, telling your friends about us, or tweeting about us using the FTLcast hashtag. We are also part of a nonprofit podcasting guild called Standing Stones Productions. We do a variety of shows, including The Room Where It Happened and Dumb Kids Playing Hero, 2 actual play shows, and a Steven Universe discussion podcast called Gay Space Rocks. We also do live streams at twitch.tv/standingstonesprod. You can keep up with everything that we do on Twitter at stones_standing. Unfortunately, Standing Stones was already taken. Your support means a lot. Thanks again!